Everyone, I'm Rick Kuehl with Farrell Distributing. We're here at Elixir Restaurant in White River Junction and with David Rossi of Fulcrum Wines. Today we've been riding around showing off a couple of new wines through the Fulcrum label, and David's going to tell us a little bit about them.
Sure. So what we've been showing are three different wines from both our Cloisonné brand as well as On Point, Chardonnay and two Pinot Noirs. The Chardonnay from Napa Valley and the Pinot Noirs from Anderson Valley and from Chalone. So why don't we start, Rick, with the Chardonnay. This is a 2012 Napa Valley Chardonnay. Bottled this about 6 months ago. The fruit came from Coombsville, which is on the eastern part of Napa, as well as from Carneros down in the southern part of Napa. Stainless steel fermented to give it kind of a crisp tropical nature to it, but full malolactic fermentation done on it, so there's a little bit of creaminess in it. And then we put it into oak just for about 2-3 months right before bottling, just to give it a kiss of oak.
Tell us a little about Cloisonné. That was certainly one of the first questions I had.
Yeah, sure, so, Cloisonné. People ask about it. It's a great French word, and it's a style of artistry of creating metalwork with wire. So it's you'll take a metal plate or a vase, and they'll wrap wires into very fanciful designs of dragons or cranes or flowers, and then all of that wire work is then filled out. Each one of the little sections is filled out with enamel and painted, and then it's highly polished, and so it reveals this wire work and enamel. So it's really kind of a meticulous sense of artistry. And so we felt like that would be something for us to kind of model the wine after, that kind of attention to detail. And so we felt Cloisonné would be a nice name to name the wine. And then we followed it up with the image on the front is a painting that we had commissioned for the label, but then it's also done with a gold leaf around the edge to kind of show the wire work that would happen with Cloisonné. So that's where the name comes from. Cloisonné Pinot Noir, 2012, Anderson Valley. We at Fulcrum started in Anderson Valley back in 2006. Our first vintage was only 100 cases of Anderson Valley, so we feel a real deep-rooted understanding of the area. We love that area, and every year we continue to make wine out of there, both in our Cloisonné, in our On Point line, and in our Fulcrum line of wines, where we have vineyard designates from Anderson Valley. So this wine is our 2012 Anderson Valley from Cloisonné. This is sourced from several different vineyards in Anderson Valley, about 5 or 6, right in the center of the valley between Philo and Boonville. Fermented, short cold soak, fermented in a small tank, and then pressed off early, and then barreled into basically neutral barrels, so not giving a lot of oak presence to it, and then aged for about 10 months. So then before we bottled it, we blended it in with some of our Anderson Valley fruit that comes from the Donnelly Creek Vineyard in Anderson Valley, which usually brings a little more of an oak to it, because that wine carries more of a new oak profile, and came up with this wine. So we think it delivers on the cherry and earthy nature of Anderson Valley, but in a light, bright style, and we think it really exemplifies the more elegant style of Pinot Noir.
Which actually earlier you were saying Fulcrum has all to do with balance.
Yeah, a fulcrum is, like the center of a teeter-totter. That's the fulcrum of a teeter-totter. It's the point of balance. And so Fulcrum, we named our winery Fulcrum because it's all about trying to achieve balance. It's not just trying to create the heaviest, thickest style of Pinot Noir, because we think Pinot Noir is best when it's true to its nature, when it's more elegant. But at the same time, California gives us such warmth, such sunlight, that we can make a richer style Pinot Noir. So we're kind of true to that California richness of style, but not taking it too far to where the wine isn't still classically Pinot. So it's hitting that balance that we're always striving for with any wine.
Excellent.
This one that we have from On Point is from the Chalone region down in Monterey. Chalone only has 6 vineyards in it, so you're not going to hear about Chalone all the time as an AVA in California. but it is on the eastern side of Monterey County, and it's up in the Gavilan Mountain Range. The unique thing about the vineyard is the soil type. The soil is decomposed granite and limestone. This used to be a seabed, and so when you cut through certain swaths of the vineyard, you will see this chalky white soil, which you really don't find anywhere but in the Gavilan Mountains. So that makes for a very minerally content to the soil, obviously, limestone content, but also in some ways transfers that mineraliness to the wine. So this 2011 was aged in French oak for 15 months, and right now we're at about 13 months on it being in the bottle. So it's just starting to open up and really coming into its own. So this is a richer wine than that Anderson that you tried, but still very elegant, but a lot of complexity. And the kind of wine, if you wanted to drink now, that's great, but also if you wanted to lay this wine down for 5 or 10 years, you'd have no problem doing that as well.
Yeah, you can actually smell the darker fruit in the nose, and actually
Yep.
a little bit more of the presence of that oak.
Absolutely.
Now tell me a little bit about this label. I think I overheard
Yeah,
you
this-
saying earlier that's a piece of art that's hanging in your house.
Yeah, it is. It is. As with the Cloisonné, both of these are painted by a great artist in Manhattan named Stephen Hall. My wife and I stumbled upon Stephen's artwork years ago and befriended him, and ever since he has done artwork that kind of graces the label. His stuff can be found in many private collections and a couple of museums, and we're very proud to use his artwork on it.